I'm John Eric with Asian Hat Media, and this is...
Jefferson from Snakestaff Systems.
All right, so in case you guys don't know, my background's in fire and EMS, so especially active shooter stuff is very near and dear to my heart. So the fact that we're seeing a lot more stuff, a lot of new developments come to the forefront, such as Jefferson Snakestaff Defense, especially their tourniquet in particular, has been a great interest to me and especially my community of seeing some of the stuff they're really trying to push through to the forefront. So what can you tell me about you guys' tourniquet?
Yeah, first, John Eric, thanks for coming out and thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
So Snakestaff Systems, the message, the mission of Snakestaff Systems, the message we want to convey to the public is that, these days, unfortunately, bad things happen to good people, and lately they seem to be happening at an increasing rate. And when these things happen, oftentimes leaves people feeling hopeless and helpless. And we're here to tell people that it's not entirely hopeless. Everyday people can carry the tools, carry the training to affect change in these situations.
Right.
And the mission of Snakestaff Systems is making that as streamlined and as easy as possible to carry medical equipment, life-saving equipment, whether that be a firearm or medical equipment every single day.
Exactly. Okay, so I know pretty much everybody knows the standard right now for tourniquets in the industry is pretty much the CAT or a soft T. So what is it that Snakestaff does that makes you guys so much different or so much more interesting?
Yeah, so kind of going back to what I was saying about everyday carry, the CAT, the soft T, they're gold standard tourniquets. They have so much data, so many lives saved. But just from a size standpoint, a lot of people are deterred from carrying it directly on body just because of the size. And if you liken it to a firearm, what good is a firearm if it's detached from your physical person in a glove compartment or in a vehicle, bag that's, hundreds of meters separated from you potentially.
Exactly.
So we wanted to create a device, a system that is small enough to carry in your pocket, on your body. Because just like you need a firearm, when you need it now. You don't have the time or the liberty to displace, to retrieve that. Same thing with the tourniquet, and that's kind of the ideology behind the tourniquet.
It's kind of like having a chisel versus like a hammer. A CAT, it's great for everything, but it's never really purpose-built to be carried like this in a form factor like that, because that was not really a consideration. It's designed for one thing and one thing only, whereas this is very much designed for the everyday person or the lay person to be able to carry and have ready access to emergency care right there in their pocket, right there in wherever, having that form factor is amazing. So hypothetically for me, the use case I even see for us is, a CAT is nice and it's big and it's great at what it does, but it gets big, bulky, and then even it plays a factor for us. So in an active shooter kit, we'll usually carry a fanny pack or something filled with tourniquets, like hyphens and all that stuff. But being able to have a form factor that's that small would mean that we can almost carry double the amount of tourniquets, so it means we can provide much more life-saving aid in a smaller package.
Absolutely. Like you said, I have to say, I have to give it up to firefighters, the fire service. Those guys are incredibly dialed. They're very particular about how they stage their equipment. Space is precious on those rigs. I know that. I have a lot of buddies who are in the fire service, and like you said, because of the compact form factor, you can either double up on tourniquets or save space for other important equipment that you guys may need.
So I thought one of those cool things, I don't know if you guys are still doing it or not, but first I thought it was a super cool idea. It was actually you guys had integrated a glow stick into the tourniquets. I remember seeing that at last year's SHOT Show.
The bubble level, as they call it sometimes. Yeah. So the intention behind that was pure. The idea for including it in the Gen 1 was to give a visual signature to, when the tourniquet is applied, that chem-like cracks, and it gives a visual signature. Think about a mass casualty incident. There may be an unknown number of people, multiple people wearing tourniquets, people wearing multiple tourniquets. It's to draw attention from first responders to say, hey, this guy's wearing a tourniquet, this gal's wearing a tourniquet.
Right.
And, whether it be, in a pocket, in transit, in the mail, there was a tendency for those to crack prematurely.
Okay.
And so we decided to eliminate it. And that allowed us from a production standpoint and material standpoint to upgrade materials, so strength and durability increased while maintaining cost to consumer.
No, absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. But stuff like that, or even just having that thought of mind, I think is great to see in the industry, because I think, especially in the medical field, things move fast, things move slow, but sometimes things don't move quite fast enough. And sometimes I think a lot of those things, we're still stuck in the mindset as, well, a tourniquet needs to blend in, it needs to be hidden, it needs to be this and that, but reality is, in the civilian world, especially for a mass casualty incident, there's going to be so many people. We need to know who has tourniquets. That's why, you see that difference, at least for us. We prefer high-vis tourniquets, because at the end of the day, we're long beyond the threshold of worrying about you staying hidden. We need to know, hey, we have a tourniquet. So, I think one of the great methodologies is most guys, we carry Sharpies, or you have a glove and you'll write, hey, TQ, left arm. But, sometimes it's great. You can do that, but sometimes it's even easier if you can just see the damn thing on them already. So the concept was there, and I'm still a huge fan of the fact you guys are even pushing the bleeding edge of that.
Thank you, man. And to kind of transition to some of the new stuff we're offering, to your point about visibility of some of these interventions, I'm excited to show you some of the features, some of the new things we're working on, because we have that in mind when we design some of these things. So.
Awesome. Yeah, please go ahead. Show us.
Yeah, so right behind us here is the visor panel. So what this allows for is it transforms what is typically unutilized real estate, meaning the driver and the passenger visor panel in every vehicle. Most Americans drive every day. It is hands down the most dangerous thing that the average Joe does. So this gives you the ability to add a trauma platform directly inside of your vehicle. And so kind of walk you through the layout of this. What you have is you have 2 tourniquets on either side. This will work with the wide and the standard variant. And then you have an IFAC in the center. All of this will mount via this modular mounting system. It accommodates a wide variety of sizes, dimensions of visors. And then everything is one-handed operation. So retrieving tourniquets and the IFAC. So when you pull these, it'll look something like this. So you've got so when you deploy this inside of the vehicle, everything hangs in front of your face like an oxygen mask on an airplane, right? So everything you can grab, you can pull what you need, and then these tabs for the tourniquets can be removed and they can be attached to the casualty to, again, like you said, indicate that a tourniquet has been applied. You can check which arm it's been applied to, and then with the pull tab for the main compartment, this functions as a TCCC card.
Right.
So you can gather information on the casualty, what's going on with them, what you did to them. You can detach that and attach all of this to the casualty so you can send more equipment and information with the casualty to the hospital. Now, if you want to egress your vehicle to respond to another car accident separate from your own vehicle, you can pop this tab here, and then this layer folds away, and then you can grab the kit and take it off of the platform here, and then you can take it to another vehicle to be utilized that equipment. So
that's amazing. Personally, again, I love the fact that you're pushing this kind of stuff out to the general public. As responders, we like having purpose-built stuff for us, but sometimes I think the people that get forgotten about the most is the general public. So being able to give people ready access like that already on their person, whether or not they have the training to understand what's on a TCCC card, the fact that you're already getting that in place for the layman. We show up and we see that, we're like, oh, hey, we already got a way better idea of what's going on. That's going to make things so much easier for everybody involved. So just the fact that that's even being thought of is phenomenal.
Thank you, man. I agree. And so this is the classic TCCC battle roster card, right?
Right.
This is more of a placeholder for what the production product will actually have. We are working with a variety of combat medics, first responders, to create a more intuitive, kind of an updated version of this. And so what the production version of this might look like is you'll have, so this casualty card will still be here, but it will most likely be on the back side here. And what you'll have here when you pull it facing the user will be instructions on how to treat a casualty.
So along those lines, is the plan to stay with the TCCC card, or would it be maybe to go with the START triage system?
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple avenues that we're pursuing currently. We want to make it most intuitive, most useful for the layperson in mind.
Right.
So, all right. So next up, we have our CMC Cantable Mag Carrier. It's simply a standalone magazine carrier. Single piece of hardware to mount this, very secure. You have 5 points of adjustment. You can adjust cantability and ride height. When we're out on the range training reloads, throw your spare in, you're moving, and then that Kydex holster is digging into your hip. And so what this allows for is this will literally disappear inside the waistband. I spent a shameful amount of time looking for one of these things, only to find that it was inside my waistband without a magazine in it. So it's incredibly comfortable.
That's awesome.
It will accommodate most slimline and double stack magazines as well. So.
And what would the price point on that be, more or less?
So all of these things that we're talking about today, they're still in heavy development. They will enter production within the next couple of months, best case scenario. So we're still fleshing out price. So keep a close eye on our socials, our website, to stay up to date on pricing and things like that.
Absolutely.
So,
thank you.
Okay, so next we have the ReadyMed Hybrid IFAC. So this product will give the user the ability to flex either into an outside the waistband configuration, so flat at the back, or an inside the waistband configuration. I'll hand these over to you so I can demo the one that I've been wearing. We're seeing this push in professional spaces, law enforcement, military, towards more low visibility plainclothes operations. And so, discretion everything concealed on body is incredibly important. So this is kind of my battle rattle. This is my EDC, if you will. So holster, tourniquet, and then the ready med inside the waistband. So you have magazine, trauma shears, marker, needle D, if you know what you're doing, chem light, all on board. So shears are actively retained, and then to deploy the kit, you pull up and drop, and then everything is retained and stays with the wearer. You have a configurable platform for all of your trauma equipment, and then again, like the visor, the pull tab doubles up as a means to collect information about the casualty.
That's phenomenal, because like even when you think about it, like even if the casualty is yourself, now you have it already attached to yourself. Whether or not you have the frame of mind to go and write that stuff, at least it's already there. Like that's half the battle right there.
And even if I have to access this kit to operate on somebody else, everything is right here. If I'm knelt down, I don't have to yard sell my kit all over the ground, right? Or in an operational capacity, operational use case with a SWAT team or a military unit. If you need to move a guy off the X, you don't need to consolidate all their kit with them. You just move them, and the kit moves with them.
Absolutely. Space is precious. Whether you realize it or not, the more space you can remain, or the less space you can take up, the better, because the less space is better.
Absolutely. All right, so lastly we have our Watson rig. So this is for guys who want to carry kind of the bare essentials, spare load and a tourniquet. Again, both the regular and the wide will fit in this system. You've got a rapid deployment pull tab. Pull that out, brings your tourniquet out, apply the tourniquet, and again, you can detach this and attach it to the casualty, and it just serves as a means to collect a little bit more information on that casualty. If you look at mass casualty incidents like the Boston bombing, for example, there were cases where both improvised and commercial tourniquets went unnoticed by medical professionals, and so you have the ability to indicate which limb the tourniquet was applied to, the time it was applied on the band itself.
Right, and that's actually a perfect use case. What we were referencing earlier about the visibility of tourniquets being such a key thing is that like a lot of these tourniquets, they were designed for the tactical mind or combat soldiers, which again, great, and that's why they're amazing. That's why they made it to the civilian market, just like everything. The military pushes innovation on our side because guess who sees most of those injuries is going to be the military, not the civilian side.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of funny though, like we bring all this stuff over without necessarily thinking about the use case of how it might change in the civilian aspect of that. So like, you have these tourniquets that are designed to blend in, and guess what? They blended in, and that definitely led to a lot of issues. But again, seeing you guys pushing the bleeding edge is amazing.
Thank you, man.
Well, it was great meeting you, Jefferson.
Thank you for your time, man.